This week has proven to be a defining moment in Donald Trump's ongoing legal battles, marking a turning point that could shape the trajectory of his political future and the integrity of the American legal system. The U.S. Supreme Court's decision to uphold a gag order limiting Trump's ability to attack court officials' families, combined with Judge Juan Merchan's rejection of his claim of presidential immunity, has dealt a double blow to the former president. These rulings highlight the increasing legal pressure on Trump as he campaigns for the 2024 presidency and showcase the judiciary's resolve to enforce the rule of law. How Trump responds, and how the nation reacts, could have far-reaching implications for democracy in the United States. In this comprehensive analysis, we will unpack the specifics of these legal setbacks, Trump's fiery reactions, and the broader implications for his political career, the rule of law, and the future of American democracy. By examining the context, legal arguments, and public reactions, we aim to provide an in-depth understanding of why these developments matter and what they mean for the nation's political landscape. Supreme Court upholds gag order restrictions. The Supreme Court's decision not to intervene in the gag order imposed by Judge Juan Merchan marks a critical juncture in Trump's legal saga. The gag order, initially implemented to maintain the integrity of ongoing legal proceedings, prohibits Trump from making personal attacks against court officials and their families. While portions of the gag order, such as restrictions on discussing specific legal arguments, have been lifted, the prohibition on targeting families remains steadfast. Trump's legal team argued that the gag order infringed upon his First Amendment rights, framing it as an unconstitutional limitation on his ability to speak freely as a political candidate. They emphasized that the restriction was unprecedented, particularly for a leading contender in a presidential race. However, the Supreme Court's refusal to overturn the order underscores the judiciary's commitment to balancing free speech with the need to protect the judicial process from undue influence and intimidation. Legal experts have praised the decision as a reinforcement of judicial independence. By upholding the gag order, the Supreme Court signaled that the judiciary will not bow to political pressure or allow the courtroom to become a stage for inflammatory rhetoric. This decision also reaffirms the principle that legal accountability applies equally to all, regardless of one's political stature. Judge Merchan rejects presidential immunity. In a separate but equally consequential ruling, Judge Juan Merchan rejected Trump's motion to dismiss criminal charges on the grounds of presidential immunity. Trump's legal team had argued that his actions as president should be shielded from prosecution, invoking the doctrine of presidential immunity. This doctrine, traditionally intended to protect sitting presidents from legal distractions that could impede their duties, has rarely been tested in cases involving former presidents. Judge Merchan's ruling unequivocally dismissed this argument, stating that presidential immunity does not extend to actions outside the scope of official duties or to conduct that occurred after leaving office. By rejecting Trump's claim, the judge affirmed that no individual, including a former president, is above the law. This ruling has profound implications for Trump's legal strategy and the broader interpretation of presidential immunity. It establishes a precedent that could influence future cases involving former presidents, reinforcing the principle that accountability does not end with a term in office. Legal scholars have noted that this decision strengthens the judiciary's role as a check on executive power, ensuring that former leaders cannot evade justice through claims of immunity. Trump's explosive reaction on Truth Social. As expected, Trump responded to these legal setbacks with characteristic outrage. Taking to his social media platform, Truth Social, Trump unleashed a series of posts attacking Judge Merchan, the Supreme Court, and the legal system. He described Judge Merchan as biased, incompetent, and radical, accusing him of issuing a psychotic and illegal order. Trump's criticism extended to the Supreme Court, which he accused of betraying the Constitution by upholding the gag order. One of the most controversial aspects of Trump's tirade was his apparent violation of the gag order. By referencing Judge Merchan's family, Trump blatantly disregarded the restrictions designed to protect court officials from harassment and intimidation. This reckless act not only exposes Trump to potential legal consequences, but also underscores his defiance of judicial authority. Trump's rhetoric painted himself as a victim of political persecution, framing these legal battles as an orchestrated effort to undermine his political resurgence. While this narrative resonates with his core supporters, it also raises concerns about the erosion of trust in the judiciary and the broader implications of undermining legal institutions. Broader political and legal implications. The legal developments of this week come at a critical time for Trump, who faces multiple criminal cases while leading the race for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination. The Supreme Court's decision and Judge Merchan's ruling represent significant obstacles that could impact his campaign and legacy. For Trump, these rulings are not merely legal setbacks, they are symbolic of the broader challenges he faces as he seeks to navigate the dual pressures of legal accountability and political ambition. The implications of these rulings extend beyond Trump's personal legal battles. They underscore the resilience of American legal institutions in upholding the rule of law, even in the face of unprecedented challenges. By affirming that no individual is above the law, the judiciary sends a powerful message about the importance of accountability in a democracy. At the same time, Trump's erratic behavior and inflammatory rhetoric raise questions about his fitness for office. His attacks on the judiciary and disregard for legal norms threaten to undermine public trust in the legal system and could set dangerous precedents for future leaders. As Trump continues to dominate headlines, the long-term impact of his actions on American democracy remains an open question. The erosion of democratic norms. Trump's response to these rulings reflects a broader trend of eroding democratic norms. His attacks on the judiciary and the rule of law are unprecedented in their intensity and frequency, highlighting a willingness to undermine institutional integrity for personal and political gain. This erosion of norms has consequences that extend beyond Trump, posing a threat to the stability of democratic governance in the United States. The normalization of such behavior risks creating a political environment where accountability is seen as partisan and where the rule of law is no longer viewed as impartial. As Trump's legal battles continue, the resilience of American democracy will be tested in unprecedented ways. Donald Trump's tumultuous week highlights the growing legal and political challenges he faces as he seeks a return to the presidency. The Supreme Court's decision to uphold the gag order and Judge Merchan's rejection of presidential immunity represent significant setbacks that could shape the trajectory of his campaign and his legacy. Yet, Trump's response, marked by defiance and inflammatory rhetoric, raises concerns about the erosion of democratic norms and the integrity of American legal institutions. As Trump's legal battles intensify, the stakes for both him and the nation continue to rise. These cases are not just about one man's fate, but about the resilience of the rule of law in the face of unprecedented challenges. Whether Trump's meltdown signals the beginning of the end or simply the latest chapter in a saga that refuses to end remains to be seen. One thing is certain. The drama surrounding Donald Trump is far from over, and the coming months promise to be a defining moment in American history. The unfolding events serve as a stark reminder of the importance of accountability in a democracy. As the legal process continues, the world will be watching to see whether justice prevails and whether the principles of equality and fairness can withstand the pressures of political polarization. Trump's journey through the legal and political minefield will undoubtedly shape the future of American democracy, making this a moment of profound significance for the nation.